We also have one more speaker today, a school teacher who lives now in Helsinki. She is a mother of 3 kids who used to live in Narva, and now she will tell us a few words about the system of education in Estonia. In Finland, sorry, from the perspective of the Estonian experience. Good afternoon. I would like to welcome everyone, and I've seen many people here in the class who I know. It's a pleasure to be here and to have been invited for this event and to share my experience, which is interesting from the point of having my experience of working in Estonia as a teacher in different educational institutions, kindergartens, basic school, and upper secondary school, including evening courses, adult educational courses, and taking into consideration my own experience with my children and their studies at school. And now for 4 years, now this is the 5th year, we are in Finland. We have been living in Finland for 5 years, and my experience of a parent and to observe the study process in Finland from inside and to see how it is during teaching practice in schools. I have some comments and key points I would like to underline and to discuss today. At the beginning of the conference, with my presentation, which actually was ready before the conference, when it started, I decided one phrase which was said by Elena, it attracted my attention, that project activities and studies, project activities may divert students from the study process. And the question is how to integrate and to divert from the study process. At this point, I asked myself the question about the study process, how to characterize it. What the study process is about. Is it separate from our normal everyday life as a parent, as a grown-up? Our life, every moment in our life, any kind of interaction and communication with anyone during the day, whatever I've seen, whatever I've heard, whatever is there in my everyday life and routine, I can use it because I use this experience every day to learn new things and to process them and to discover new things in my life. The study process, when we talk about children, it is even more intensive. For me, it's difficult to understand how we can separate the study process from a child's life. What is it? Studies and life, are they separate? And in my memories, I reflected upon the time when I lived in Narva. And for me, it was one of my acute memories when I worked when I was a working mother, and my children, they studied in the elementary school. And every time when we were together to work on their home assignment, when we were waiting for their holiday breaks, and I asked myself this question, when finally I would have this moment in my life when I would be real happy to enjoy my life and not to do something which is where I'm not occupied with homework of my children. I cannot understand why, and I couldn't understand why there were so many assignments for them to account. It's a moment when actually, for me, it was real painful to solve and to consider this dilemma. When we moved to Finland, the first thing which showed the difference between these two educational systems in Estonia and in Finland it was the availability of time in Finland for a person just to live and to enjoy your life. It's not just kind of a separate thing in your life, that studies and learning, it's one part of your life and it is separate from your life. But studies and the study process in Finland, it's a part of your everyday life. And it is stress-free, and you don't even notice all these difficult. It's a natural process of life. The most important thing, apologies for not using the mic, but the main idea which I would like to stress out now, it's the individual approach to studies and to children. A few words about the slides I have prepared for my presentation. The child and the school, how they are connected, how schools are perceived by children. What I noticed, the very first moment, for me it was kind of an eye-opener. Children, they went to school and they go to school with real pleasure and joy, because they expect something interesting to happen at school. And it refers to all levels of school education, the elementary school level, the basic school level. So interesting events, they happen all the time, and they make each and every day different from the previous one, and children go to school with pleasure. Quite often, different classes are organized. The study process, it takes place outside the school building as well. So if you compare it with the way how the study process was organized in Estonia, maybe now it's different. I cannot say anything about it. I can compare it only with what I knew about 4 years ago. If it's a primary school, children, they go to parks and different excursions. They collect different things. So there are many classes where they have practical assignments and they learn by doing. Cross-curricular and interdisciplinary links are very strong, and children acquire new information and material quite nicely and with joy. The fear of getting some criticism does not exist there. So everyone and with all comments are welcomed. So you can give your comments and everything will be considered as a positive thing. Every child and every person can be him or herself, can be an individual. To be yourself, it's not a fearful experience. Nobody will tell you that you've done something wrong. For some people it's wrong, for others it's a norm, but there are no norms whatsoever. Everything is welcomed and accepted. As for home assignments, I have 2 points here.
У домашних уроков
home assignments, they are given in the volume with the aim to make children work on some assignments, to discipline them and to organize their time and to develop their time management skills and to concentrate and focus on assignments and to develop their responsibility. The key educational moments, of course, they are in schools. Sometimes children, they spend 15 minutes on their assignments. At the upper secondary school level, of course, they can be involved in different kinds of projects or to have some written assignments, and they spend more time on their assignments. But in primary school, it's about 15-30 minutes on assignments to be spent. Children, they have time to devote themselves to hobbies. They go to groups of interest. They spend their time the way they want it to be spent. So the study process is not that suppressive, so to say.
Школы есть всегда.
There is always a connection with school activities. In Finland, I know that in Estonia, eCall, this electronic school, is widely used. Vilma, it's a similar eCall or e-school system in Finland. Teachers and the class teacher and they inform on all important events which are scheduled in the school program. And if it is about some events or some important things which have happened to a particular child, everything is described in details, and you will get this information fully. Everything is explained what is necessary to provide a child with in order for him to participate in these events and activities. This connection and feedback, connection with parents, it's always there.
Очень нравится то, как организован учебный.
I really like the way how the study process is organized there. How to say it? It's everything is so convenient and comfortable for both parents and children. For example, if we live far from the school, so we have this taxi service to, and there is a certain maximum distance from the home to where the child lives and the school. So there are special passes, bus buses, to make it possible for the child to get there. There are free textbooks, there are free meals in schools.
Еще, ну, здесь вот как бы особо сильно я не буду на этом задерживаться.
I'd like also to mention one more thing. What makes the Finnish system of education different from the Estonian one? We have the so-called long breaks, and during such breaks between classes, children, they have time to go out of school and to move and to participate in different activities outside the school, in the schoolyard. And there are different circles, different hobby groups where they participate when they have time. I won't read out the whole list of things which I have with my slides, but I would like to say that I have already mentioned that this individual approach to a child-centered approach, it's one of the features of the Finnish system. There are many supporting features. So if a child experiences some problem, some difficulties, there are always teacher assistants, there are special pedagogues. So there are members of the staff who can support, and there are different opportunities which are always offered by schools. And if there are problems, they are not underlined, and there is no kind of a focus on them in terms of being a bad thing, but quite opposite, there are always things to help.
И, пожалуй, заканчивая уже.
To conclude, I would like to say that what I like the most, child's motivation to study is maintained, so to say, from inside. There are individual development talks with child and interviews. So a child is given opportunities to formulate his own decisions. The decision-making process is developed. The child himself decides what and is more important. He talks about it, he formulates it, and this way he becomes more responsible for what he has to do. His attitude towards his studies is different. Nobody is there to tell him what he has to do, but he himself is responsible for taking all these decisions and for getting results. Well, that's it. Thank you.